All right, all right, all right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, brothers and sisters all over the world, kakas and dadas, dadas and kakas all over the world. The name of this channel is The African Times, and I'm Thomas. Okay, everybody, look, we're going to jump right in. I think you can see the screen is filled with the heroes, the brave men that I was talking to you about, and we're happy to have them and proud. It's a privilege. First, I want to give all praises to the Most High and, you know, thank the Most High for giving us the opportunity to be here. And I think also I want to thank Brother Grandmaster Jay because without his leadership and his vision, there wouldn't be any NFAC. So I want to know from all of these brothers as we talk, we'll get more into it. But I just want to say at the beginning, Grandmaster Jay answered a call. He answered a call that most don't get, and even fewer answer that call when they do get it. But that brother stepped into his role, and as a result of all of his efforts, we are here. And that is success right there. That in and of itself is a very successful thing. So I want to thank him again. And I appreciate that. Now, our brother isn't here with us. You don't see him on the screen right now. He's not here physically with us, but we know, we can feel his presence. It's here. Spiritually, he's here with us. And in fact, the way that I like to look at it is he's physically here because his spirit is in each and every one of us. That is how he can come through these messages that we have. And we just, hope that we can bring forth everything that he's taught along the way to kind of give you an idea of who he is and who Nfac are. And now there's one other thing that I want to mention. It's a good time to let the people know that our brother, as I was mentioning, is in an institution, which it's a temporary situation. And we hope and pray, and we know that that's a temporary situation, and our brother is coming home. So we need everybody to stay prayed up, and this is why it's so clear to me. I was doing a little research. We'll talk a little bit about it. We're witnessing history, everybody. The people that are on this screen before you are people who are making history. We're privileged and honored to be a part of it, to be able to talk to these individuals, these brave men, these courageous men who are making history. And it's kind of a good note to kind of bring them in. I think right now you can see brother Falcon there. And yes, brother Commander Falcon. And then we have hey, all right. Then we have brother Colonel Kickass. He's there. I don't know if we lost brother Bishop, but I'm sure he'll be back.
Yes.
So yeah, so brother Falcon, if we could kind of start, maybe you can give us an idea for those of the people out here who don't really know or may not have heard about Nfac. Can you kind of give us an idea who is Nfac, what is Nfac about?
Well, Nfac started out with a mod operator. Got by Titan. And a group of black. Hey, this is going to be this stuff. We got now to
I think his audio is going out.
Okay, yeah, brother Falcon. Could you repeat it again? We had a little audio problem.
Yeah, your audio went out, Falcon.
Hear me?
We heard you there.
Okay. When
Nice.
Okay, you know what, Brother Falcon, it's going in and out for a minute.
Okay,
What
I'll give.
big bro-
If you want, I'll basically talk
if
about
you
it.
can jump in, that'd be great. Then chime
In,
in whenever you can, Brother Falcon.
in fact, basically started like Commander Falcon said with Ahmaud Arbery. We all know that situation. We saw that situation happen, and we saw nothing was being done. Um, in fact, came from Supreme Commander's teachings. He was teaching on Instagram, on YouTube. He was doing all those teachings prior to Nfac. Nfac came from those teachings. When that situation happened with Ahmaud Arbery, um, basically, just like myself, he was a black man that was fed up with the injustices that keep happening, the abuse of the black bodies in this country. He was fed up with that. So Supreme got a bunch of men and women together and decided, hey, we gonna go down there. Just so happened at the same time we got Nfac was threatened by the Ku Klux Klan, because Ku Klux Klan is still around for those of you who don't know. Um, they I believe they said they were going to start hanging people. They was going to start hanging black bodies. I believe that's what they said, Bishop. Is that what they said? Something to that effect.
Something to
Yeah,
that
it was
effect, yeah.
Yeah, so something to that effect. So that's why the march happened on Stone Mountain. Which Stone Mountain is basically the home of the KKK. So that's why that march happened there at that big monument there in Stone Mountain, Georgia. Um, in fact, it's not the Supreme will always like to say. In fact, is not an offensive type of organization. We're not going out to terrorize people or harass people or anything. We are defensive. We're about the defense of our community, the defense of our people, the upliftment of our people. We're not here to start nothing with nobody, but we're not going to let nobody start stuff with us and not finish it.
Hey, brother, that sounds like a man in an organization speaking in their right mind. That's
well,
I think that's only
that's
a
also
natural.
that's also a generational thing too. There's those of us from from certain generations are about that. Hey, we're not going to start nothing with you, but if you want to campaign for this ass whooping, you want to get elected. Plain and simple.
That's right.
Hey, it reminds me of something my mother used to tell me when I was a kid. I think I'm from that generation where your mom would tell you, don't you fight nobody at school. Don't you put your hands on nobody.
Yep.
But if somebody put their hands on you, you pick
break
up a
them up.
book and lay them out.
Yep.
Right.
This is only natural for us.
Exactly.
So, now it's you bring up a good point, because Ahmaud Arbery, when I saw that, I saw Brother Grandmaster Jay Donnie, I saw a man in his right mind doing those things that are natural for a man to do, think. I saw that, and I realized Ahmaud was a young man.
Yes.
Right.
He was very young. He in his 20s.
Yeah, he could have been my son.
Yeah,
Right.
he could have been. Exactly. So when Brother Jay and the brothers went down there, I wanted to ask you guys, how important is it for our young people, our boys and girls, to have strong role models, to see men like you guys, you brave, courageous brothers, to see you guys standing up saying, hey, look, we're here to protect you. We understand what's going on in this place we live. How important is it for them to see that?
Oh, I think that's very important, because right now what you're seeing is the young people are looking to entertainers, basketball players, rappers, singers, those kind of people to be their role models, and they are not role models. Those as much as we like to hold them in high regard, those people can't be your role models. Why? Because they're held to a different standard, because they got agents and deals and brand deals and all kinds of stuff. So they are basically a slave to the money.
Right.
They're
entertainers.
they can only go so far. They can only do so much. We've had entertainers come to us behind the scenes. Yo, I want to help. I want to do this, but I can only stay behind the scenes because I got these endorsement deals, or I got this happening, I got that happening, and we understand that. And guess what? All that support is welcome. But we understand what their role is. Their role is they can't be out in the front, because otherwise they're going to lose that money, because they're attached to the system via the money because of of their status. So it's important for guys like us to go out there and show them, hey, you can do this legally. You can be a legal firearm carrier in this country. You just have to do it the correct way. And if you do it the correct way, then you can exercise your constitutional rights. You know, and that's another thing we'll touch on later is the constitutional rights that are trying to be taken from us at this moment. But um, they need to see more people like us, especially in their communities. I don't know. I mean, we are all from different parts of the country, but where I live, the biggest city that's closest to me is Philly, and Philly is really hot. It's really bad right now, and it's tough out in the streets. And every day you hear about kids dying. When I say kids, under 17 years old dying. So we need to be out there in these communities a lot more and helping them. And we need the OGs that's in the community to say, hey, listen to these dudes. They show you how to do it the right way, not the way that the OGs may have done it and went to jail or whatever. You know, we need the OGs to say, hey, listen to these dudes because they'll tell you the right thing to do. Don't listen to me. Don't follow me. Don't emulate me because my path took me through prison to do this. My path had me and my friends get shot at or somebody died. That's not the right path. So we need the OGs to help solidify that and say, hey, these dudes is doing it the correct way. Listen to them. Let them be your role model. That's what we need in the community.
That's a great answer. And if you guys want to chime in, feel free.
Yeah, I want to say one thing, and one thing that they don't realize, we don't get paid one dime for doing this, and we do this because we love our people.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to put that in there. You know, the money is not about all the money and the riches. It's about our people and saving our civilization.
Ooh, brother. Listen, the just in that expression that both of you put together, it embodies what Brother Jay kept saying. Every time I would listen, he said, I love my people, but we ain't breaking no laws.
No.
He kept saying that over and over again. So it was something that I see resonating in what both of you were saying, that the kids need to know, they need to see the role models, and they're not going to be able to do that unless the people get out there, like what you guys did. You guys went out, and this is why it's so important for all the people listening to understand. You have brave brothers and sisters who understand that there is value in role models. If you don't have the proper role models like you brothers are doing, then the following other role models might lead you down a path that's not going to be helpful to our people. And like Brother Commander Falcon just said, we're talking about the future, and the children are the future. That's why I respect what you guys are doing. Was there anything else that you guys want to add about that?
I'll give you a great example. We went to Louisville, Kentucky. All right, and we had to go out to a mall to get some things because we was going to an event later on, so we needed to get some things, and we went as a group, and it was maybe 25, 30 of us, all NFAC gear and everything, and just the reaction that we received from the kids in that mall, that was worth it to me. So we had kids. There was a kid that went up to Supreme, and she was crying. She was crying because all she wanted to do was take a picture with Supreme Commander. That's all she wanted. So that's what we need. We need those kind of reactions, and we need the parents to be like, yes, these are the brothers you need to look at. These are the sisters you need to look at. These are who you need to emulate. If you don't want to emulate me, your parent, that's fine. But look at these brothers if that's what you want to do. Because a lot of times kids don't want to be like their parents because they think it's corny or whatever. But if you don't want to emulate me, fine. These are brothers and sisters who are doing it the correct way, doing the right thing. Emulate them.
That's a great idea. I'm sorry I got caught up in listening to him, but we had our brother General Hot Sauce was on the line. Sorry, brother, if I didn't get to you quick enough. Welcome. It's a privilege and an honor to talk with you.
Shalom, family. Thank you.
Shalom, brother.
It's good to be here.
My man. You see everybody out there in YouTube land. It's a wonderful thing when you have men coming before you, men who are in their right minds, and in this country that we come from, efforts to alter our young boys and our young sisters so that they're not in their right minds and they don't have the proper role models. This is why we have to come forth and have these brothers speak to you. So very good, very good. I'm excited about it. If that area has been covered, we can move on to the next area.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah. Now, how important is it for me? I know I have a son, and young black boys. As I was just talking about, I was surprised to find that in school they're kind of teaching our boys maybe not really to be strong, but kind of soft. How important is it for young boys to see how men behave and what men do and know what their responsibility is for the young people, their elders in their community? How important is that?
Well, I think it's very important. They need to learn. When I was raised, I had a role model. I didn't have my father wasn't with me, but I had a role model teach me the different things in life. And I took those to heart, and I took them to school with me wherever I went. He didn't teach me the wrong way; he taught me the right way. So it's very important to learn from other men, older men that's going to do something, that's doing positive things in life.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Go ahead.
there comes an age in our in our societies, our culture and our ritual where the young man gets handed over to the men of the village to go through his rites of passage. And the biggest issue we have in our community right now is due to some very purposeful things that have been done to us. Those men were taken off the scene
Hmm.
through through many different reasons. Um,
That
those of us
94
who
crime
were
bill. That 94 crime bill took a lot of us off this, a lot of people off the scene.
Right?
the crime played play, play,
Have your audio trouble, Bishop.
Yeah, your audio broke up.
Yeah, let me jump. I think he's breaking up. I don't
role
know if you guys can hear me clear.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we can
got
hear
you.
you. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me just jump on this real quick. Brother, I think what we probably need to do. We need to work with the parents. Both sides, fathers and mothers also. We actually can create a program for every year for the summertime.
Hmm.
When the kids they out of school, we can create this program like it's not just a boot camp. It's like a teaching by our race, discipline, and how to protect the family. You had to learn how to build, just like China in some of this country. The
Hmm.
military system they start teaching these kids when they're young. You talk about in
Hmm.
elementary school. I remember back at home, I had to learn a second language in this fifth grade.
Hmm.
Yes,
In
in
fifth
fifth
grade,
grade
yeah.
over here in United States, you had to wait till you get to high school. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Back in the continent, fourth grade, fifth grade, you had to pick up the second language, so the English or French, one of
Hmm.
these two language, and then you started, picking out the other ones when you go to the high school. I
Hmm.
think that's something we also and we well disciplined, with the blueprint what
Hmm.
Supreme left behind. I think we all can, as the commanders and chapters, we can start create a program that when the schools there, when the kids they go in the summertime, we can actually start talk to some of the parents. Hey, do you want to enroll your kids for this program? This is
Well,
what they're gonna learn in mixed
well,
martial arts.
Commander Hot Sauce, we have a pilot program like that. Our commander in Tennessee is actually running something like that. He's doing that. He's doing that work now, and he's putting that program together and
Mhm.
and making it work. So once he irons out all the kinks in it, then that's something that can be introduced nationwide throughout all the chapters. But
All right.
Oh,
our commander in
oh,
Tennessee right now, he's doing stuff like that. He's doing that with the kids, taking
yeah,
them fishing and all that other stuff, teaching them
yeah,
those kind of things. So he's doing that now. But like I said, it's more of a pilot program, but it's something
hmm
that he's doing there. And as soon as he gets all the kinks worked out of that, then we can do it and launch it across the country,
yeah. But
countrywide.
I think that's a great. Yeah, I think Commander
Hmm.
Bishop talked to me about this. But
Yeah.
one of the things I will love to enforce in the program is
Hmm.
we need to start it and create and encourage our kids to speak another different language. We cannot
Yes.
just be stuck, with the one language over here. If we can put different programs on there, or whatever program you already have, if we say, hey,
Hmm.
Spanish is the second language
Hmm.
over here in the United States, maybe we can encourage our African American kids to learn Spanish or any other language, and then after Spain we got the French because the
Yeah.
influence of the brothers from 80s, is a big community in the US. It probably will be a big benefit for our kids over
Hmm.
here in the US.
Exactly.
Asante Sana, brother. Asante Sana. Yeah, Swahili is a good
You
language in
know
a
why?
large
You
part of
know why,
East
brother? You touching a good point. Let me no 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 no. You just touching a good point. Swahili belong to us. Or about Swahili, if we can create a big team, we got a lot of brothers from Kenya, and matter of fact, we got a shop in Kenya, and we got a lot of brothers from Congo that they speak Swahili. If we can actually get some of these guys to educate us, I myself want to learn how to speak Swahili.
I do
Ah, ah.
too. I do
Yeah.
too.
I
I
do.
want to thank you, brothers, just something because you did something that I don't want it to go without people understanding what just happened.
Mm-hmm.
These brothers are an international organization. I want people to understand the magnitude of what we're talking about. Nfac is an international organization. The unity is there. Grandmaster Jay preached that. He talked unity, 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 unity. He drilled it and drilled it and drilled it.
That's
These
right.
brothers coming together, no, none of the egos, none of that, working it out. This is what must be done. And this is what Brother
That's right.
Jay, for me, I could feel that in him. And so let me ask you this, and any one of you can answer, but
Mm-hmm.
we're all here because of Brother Jay, Grandmaster Jay. He organized it. He got people together. He was a
Hmm.
leader of men.
That's right.
Okay,
Hmm.
what's important is it for you guys, for me, but also our young people to see a
Mm-hmm.
man today alive who's been able to organize and unify people all over the globe, very similar to what a Garvey did. But they don't know Garvey. He's not real. He's not tangible because he's not here.
Yeah.
But now we
Exactly.
have a real live brother, and you guys are leaders as well. How important is it for our young people to know about him, know about you, and see these things happen?
Well, it's very important. I'm gonna tell you this: if you look at the things that have happened in this country, for example, with COINTELPRO, every time a black leader arises, they try to take him down. Whether they assassinate him or they put him in behind bars, whatever, they try to take him down because they don't want a black charismatic leader to rise and unify the people because that's when they know that they'll be in trouble. So
Mm-hmm.
that's part of the reason why Jay is in the situation he's in now because he rose up against the system and said, "Hey, you too can be free of this system. You don't have to take the crap and abuse that you get from this system, and we can rise up." That's one of the reasons why they went after Jay. And when I say they went, there's a lot of things that happened with Jay that most people don't know, like the FBI putting a tracking device on his vehicle, stuff like that. They did a lot of different stuff to Jay that most people don't even understand or know about. But that's why it's very important that the kids of the day see us because like you said they may know Marcus Garvey. They're not going to learn this in school. They might know Marcus
Mm-hmm.
Garvey. They might know Malcolm X. They might know Martin Luther King. You know, they might know Huey Newton, but they don't. It's not tangible to them. They see Jay. They see us. This is the thing that's tangible to them. So yes, it's very necessary for us to be out there in the for and pushing the message. Yes, this too can be you. You too can stand on business, like the kids like to say. You can stand on business and do what you got to do for your people.
Bring it
You
to
know,
them, brother. Bring it to the
mm,
young people.
No, you don't have to be a pawn of the system. You don't have to be abused by the system. You have to be beaten and demoralized by the system. You can fight the system, but you have to actually do it and stand on business. You can't do it from behind the keyboard. You can't do any of that. You gotta put boots on the ground and stand on business for real. And that's what, going back to what you said about them making our black men soft. That started with there's no fighting in school. What you mean there's no fighting in school? That's how we learn how to stand up to the bully. Oh, they don't want you to stand up to bully, but that's how we learn how to stand up to bully. When you got tired of bully's crap, you said 3 o'clock, meet me outside the playground. We're gonna handle this and deal with this.
Right.
And that's how you. But now they don't have that in school. That's gone. So our kids don't know that life. They know, let's go tell the teacher and see what the teacher gonna do. At some point, you gotta punch the bully in the mouth.
And there's another part about. Can y'all hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we good.
Okay. Yeah, I've been having some technical issues. It's like someone's getting in the way of my feed. You know. Yeah. So to piggyback on what Lieutenant Commander Kickass said, there's another reason why you go through these rites of passage when you're a young man, because maybe when you pick that fight or you get in that fight and you lose, maybe you realize that you need to be better at math, or you need to be better at this or better. And I'm not saying that to be. I'm saying it's funny, but it's like, hey man, I don't need that life.
Yeah.
I need to be doing something else. So let's find out right now when I'm not going to lose my life. I'm just going to get maybe a bloody nose or a bloody lip, and, you know, and then I'm going to find out that I need to be doing this. We've lost a lot of that. Those consequences. When I was growing up, there were consequences, and then you realize that, hey, I don't need to be doing that.
Yeah, I'm not built for that lifestyle. Yeah.
Like you see right now, see kids right now, got the first thing they want to pick up is a gun.
Yeah.
You need to realize you got these. You've always had these all your life, and you picking up that gun. That's gonna do one thing. It's gonna kill somebody, and that's ridiculous.
And the thing that we were coming out and doing in 2020, our next place we were going to go was a black community. That was going to be December 21st, 2020.
Yeah.
And they didn't want that to happen because that's what we were going to be addressing.
Yeah.
We were going to be addressing conflict resolution. You know, you look at us as an organization. We don't just show up as soon as something happens. There's steps to it.
Yeah.
First, we make phone calls. Then we send emails. Then we figure out, can this be worked out before it gets to a conclusion nobody wants. But that has to be on the table. But you have to lead yourself up to it and resolve it the best you can. And there's a lot of things that we've done that nobody will ever hear about that have been resolved. Because
it didn't result in a formation. So that's why nobody will know about it. Like, there's things we're working on right now that hopefully it's not going to result in a formation, but it might trend that way, that it results in the formation. But in the meantime, we're working the political background, we work in the legal background, and we work in other channels to see if we can resolve it in a different matter. If we need to put boots on the ground, that means we've gotten past all that. It means now we have to address you face to face, man to man.
That's right.
It's an excellent point that you guys bring up. That you're working. I think you mentioned earlier. It's not an offensive. It's not an offensive organization. We diplomatic, use proper political means. We can negotiate. We can, but let's have some result. Now,
that's right.
I just want to kind of piggyback on something. The formations. I think sometimes people really don't understand the significance of what you guys did. Like before we came on, I was just kind of looking through history to see how many times has there been an uprising where brothers and sisters had to take up arms, not shooting or violence or anything like that, but just literally had to put up a show of force. to kind of say, hey, look, if you don't stop doing this, there are going to be consequences. And what I discovered, we had to go back to the 1800s. So
The Panthers was the last people to do it, and you see what happened with the Panthers, right?
yes, the next
Yes.
time was the Panthers,
Yes.
130 years.
Yeah.
So what you guys did was a tremendous, tremendous, tremendous change in the history of consciousness of Black people to actually wake the people up. Now you did that knowing you might face consequences. How did you deal with the that and it was their fear? How did you overcome that? Because Grandmaster Jay talked about that as a leader. He addressed the fear. How did you guys overcome that?
At some point, you got to put fear aside and accomplish the mission. And I don't know if that's the Marine in me talking, but at some point, the fear got to go by the wayside, and you just got to accomplish the mission. And what's the mission? To protect the Black community. And yeah, I understood that there might be consequences for myself personally, but what's more important? And something that, you know, when I joined the Marine Corps, I took an oath to defend this country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. My time of service is over to the United States government. I took an oath in Louisville, Kentucky, to my Black community that I will also defend my Black community against all races, no matter what race it is, against violence, oppression, indignity. I would defend my community against that. So I stand on my oath because that's my word. And my generation, our word is our bond. That's what it is. If I said something, that's what it's going to be. And I took that oath. And many people who took that oath have gone back on their word. And that saddens me because I thought you was a stand-up person. I thought you was about your community. I thought you was about let's do something correct for the community. And you gave your word that that's what you was going to do. And now you said, oh, let me turn tail and run and hide now because it got a little hot.
Woo!
Well, it got a little hot, and you still not standing on business because it got a little hot. You shouldn't have been out here in the first place then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You have to know that going in.
No, if
Let, let,
you can only send shots down range but not take shots back at you, then you shouldn't be out here in the first
That's right.
place.
That's right.
let me just jump a little bit on this subject also.
Go
And
ahead.
I always encourage everybody, brothers and sisters, we all serve the military. We understand the protocol. We that was the first choice that we did as far as be part of the army or the whatever army force of the United States. But I also encourage whatever time you did it, that was a different army. So
Yeah.
this is your real army.
Mm-hmm.
This is where you had to come and do your time, your real time.
Mm,
This is forever. That's why we call Nfac for life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? If you did it 20 years over there, you can come back over here and do 20 years too. What's wrong with that?
right.
This is yours. This is our army. You had to be part of this pancake.
Mm-hmm.
Please don't run away. We
Tell
in class.
them, brother. Tell them. Don't run.
Don't run.
Uh,
If you did it 20 years in the Air Force or 20 years in the Marine, 20 years in the Army, or whatever in the Navy, come back. We still need you.
That's right.
You need to come and here put some time. You got to put. Don't just tell us, "Oh, I did some time." For who? For who?
Commander Hot Sauce, I want to thank you for that. As we go through these YouTube
Mhm.
videos and streams, and again, I want to thank you, brothers, for standing up here courageously and coming
Yes, sir.
out for the people.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
As these people put out these videos and they say different things, and for me, I just can't take it. I don't like hearing it. I've heard people say, well, the people of Nfac they disappeared and they did all of these things. When none of that's true at all.
No.
So you guys, how would you like for people to think about the formations that you did, the things that you're doing now behind the scenes? What would you like for people to think about your efforts? What would you like for them to think about that?
Well,
It's
first, I like them to think, that we here forever. We're not temporary. When we did to quiet down when Supreme got arrested, We had to act a certain, a different way. But now all gloves are off. Supreme has told us that all gloves are off now,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like we just want to be just realize seeing that just seeing that women trying to reorganize and change maybe change things around that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Stop all this bullshit.
You're right. I mean, we had some internal things that we dealt with. You know, every organization, no matter from the biggest Fortune 500 company all the way down to the mom and pop, you got some internal things that you got to deal with. So we had some internal things that we dealt with, and we dealt with them, and we got through them. You know, some people are still here, some people ain't. It's
Right.
just the way it is. We go with the goers. If you a goer, then let's go. If you want to stand on the sideline and shout out orders, guess what? You're not in charge of nothing. You can stand on the sideline and keep it moving, but we
Right.
moving. So at this time, like Falcon said, you know, Supreme had got locked down, and we had to fall back a little bit. You know, tactical retreat, if you will. So we had to fall back a little bit. So now we're coming back out to the forefront, and we're going to lead by example, because that's what we do. We lead by example. And
Right.
if you want to fall in line, fall in line. We're more than happy to have you. You know, I believe they put it in the chat where you can join the NFAC. They put the email in there. It's join NFAC at proton.me. You can join us. We're more than happy to have you. If you're doing your own thing, that's great too. We're not going to stop you from doing your own thing.
That's right.
Right.
But don't get in our way of doing our thing.
That's
We're not
right.
going to get in your way. We don't get in our way. You know, we should, if you say you for black people being free, then you shouldn't be in our way. Just like we're not going to be in your way. But if you're trying to stop us from doing what we're doing, you're not about black freedom. If you're trying to stop what the Panthers are doing, you're not about black freedom. If you're trying to stop
Right.
what the Muslims is doing, you're not about black freedom. They all trying to do the same thing. We all got the same goal. The thing that we have to do as a black community is realize that yes, we all have the same goal. We can all have differences of opinion, and that's great. But at some point, there needs to be us come together and say, okay, now it's time to unify, and that time might be coming sooner than we think in this country.
Right.
Yes.
So
Right.
at one point, we got to all say, all right, now it's time that we put it
Time.
together and we all move forward as one.
In one union. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right.
Yeah, you know, I think that's a good point. And Grandmaster Jay, he kept saying that over and over again. And I really want to make sure people understand something, and maybe you guys can comment on this. You mentioned about serving in the military. Grandmaster Jay served in the military,
Mm-hmm.
and all of you and many others who served. Commander Hot Sauce said something very important. He said you served in a different army.
Yeah.
I had a lot of people say, well, you know, I served. Well, you didn't serve black people.
That's right.
Right.
If you're going to serve black people, you need to be serving in Nfac.
Now.
Exactly. If you can die
Because
for this, if you could die for the country, you can die in the military. Why can't you die
Right.
for your own people?
That's right.
yeah,
If you can put that in writing and say, yes, I'm willing to die for this country, blah 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 blah. If you're willing to put that in writing, why can't you say the same thing about your own people?
That's right.
That's right.
yeah, this is something that I think I'm glad we're getting a chance to put this out for the people. And I want all the people listening to understand you're not getting soft rhetoric and entertainment and make believe from these brave men and women talking to you. These are brave men and women who came together and understood the situation that our people are facing all over the world, and it's not going to change. And if you commit your life to fighting on behalf of some other people who don't have your interest at heart, the
That's
interest
right.
of our children and our generations, then in some ways, you remember they were talking about Brother Jay's an agent. No, you're the agent.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
agent on behalf of that group of people that is openly working against us. So I'm not going to go into it, but again, I want to thank you guys for standing up and doing that, and being there and role models for all of us. Now, there was something, you know, I think underneath this, something Grandmaster J, Dr. Johnson would say. He said he loved his people. Sometimes I never forget, he said in one of the videos, sometimes the people, they make it hard to love him, but he loves his people. And he's demonstrated that. Here's a man who we're talking about was able to gather all of us, but also I will never forget him saying, look, you see me and you don't see them because I'm gonna take one for the team, basically, so that they can be protected. That's loving your people. Doing what he did to be where he is now is because he was a doer, not just a talker, not entertainment. He was sincere, he was doing. So what I wanted to ask you guys, did you guys pick that up as you were getting to know him? Because you're closer to him than any of us are. Did you get the sense that he was sincere in his love for the people?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, he is there are scores of instances I know I've seen, just me personally, where I've seen him put others before he puts himself.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have to be where he is right now. There were plenty of chances. They approached him with plenty of chances for it not to happen. And he said, no, I'm going to take this the whole way for the distance because that's the right thing to do because I haven't done anything.
Right.
Disband the organization. Go away. Tell us who everybody is.
Mm-hmm.
They offered that all to him.
Yeah, they did.
They offered him every plea deal you could think of.
And why would they want to know where everybody is?
Yeah.
So they could come knock on your door and figure out a reason.
Exactly.
Yeah. And all of us, anybody who does anything revolutionary, and revolutionary isn't just this. It's a number of different things. It could be in education. It could be in business. You're always, if you're the sharp, the pointy end of the spear, you're always going to get it first. But that's kind of the price of being in that. I call it that 5%. It's referred to as that 5%. It's really only 5% of the people who are always leading folks. People always go back to the civil rights movement and think it was everybody. It was a small group of people.
Yep.
It just looked like it was but everybody got on board once more people got on board. But it was a bunch of people who thought Martin Luther King was going too fast. And when we go back to people who stood up with firearms, deacons for self-defense.
Yeah.
They caught a lot of
they caught a lot of flack.
A lot of flack for doing that. And them were World War II and Korean War vets.
They were.
Because Vietnam hadn't really gotten into full swing by that time.
No.
But
and think about this, Bishop. When is it that they finally said, okay, enough is enough? When Malcolm and Martin, when their thought processes started to become more aligned, when they weren't so far apart in their thinking, when their thinkings got closer together and they were talking about unifying, that's when they said, okay, enough is enough. So that's one thing they don't want. They don't want unification of our people.
Like Grandmaster Jay said once, he said it in the Red Room in Kentucky.
Yeah.
They don't mind 50 groups. They don't want one.
Yeah.
One means unity.
One
means unity.
That's right.
But any we're all cognizant of that, but also too, folks got to realize if you don't do at least something to change your situation, you're then complicit. And now it's really your fault because you had a chance to do something about it. Now that something about it could be on a hot day in Louisville in 2020, giving somebody a bottle of water because it was 100 degrees out there.
Yep.
Or at a breakfast at the Waffle House in Lafayette, Louisiana, buying somebody breakfast.
Yeah.
Because you knew that what that person was getting ready to go do. It could be that. Or it could be donating, or it could be standing up when people say things. And I know, I don't know if we're going to get to this or not, but the fact that they've ignored what Dr. Johnson has done, it still baffles me. And then I go back and I ask my elders, Well, what happened when this was going on? Same type of thing. They would try to hide it, and then later on, it looks like everybody's on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
But, you know, and I guess maybe that's just history repeating itself. But really, why should it? We know better. We know better now.
Yeah.
How can you not know better with all this information being at your fingertips?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I'm glad you mentioned that. People like me and others that do these broadcasts, it's kind of a pet peeve of mine. What you said, Brother Commander Bishop, we have a responsibility. That responsibility is not to continue to put out the majority of content that deals with anything that will help our people get out of this situation. You're absolutely right. All of the efforts of Dr. Johnson, we should not be relying on mainstream media to educate our people about what that brother was doing and what you good brothers are doing. It's our responsibility to make sure that the proper information gets communicated to our people. And something I don't remember, it could have been Lieutenant Commander Kickass who said, we're gonna need to be unified. We are here. We're a group of people. We're already together.
That's right.
We should not wait till it's too late to organize
Correct.
ourselves in a way that can protect us.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we will talk about that, about the importance of the media to help us. Now I'm just kind of curious. I know Brother Grandmaster Jay, he had enough courage to stand up and do what he did. Nobody can take that away from that brother. He's a brave man to do what he did. But you guys, as individuals, like I have 2 children, and I don't mind. I tell the world I got 2 children. I love them, but I had to make some decisions myself. Like when I talk to people about having courage, I'm not going to sit back and watch what you brothers did, which showed tremendous courage. I'm not getting ready to sit back and not talk about it, not thank you, not tell everybody to support you. Which, by the way, what's the donate to the fund? What's the address?
I think Sister K Money put it down in the chat. It's what is it? Where is it?
Hold on, let me see if I can find it here. This is a good sponsorship break, guys. Y'all.
Yeah, I know Sister K. I know Sister K Money will put that in the chat. She probably done put everything in the chat already. But
yeah, it's GoFundMe.
Yeah.
It's GoFundMe, and it looks like GoFundMe 720966649. It's in the chat. You guys go look in that. Donate to the Grandmaster
There it is.
Fund.
Yeah.
Okay, but so you guys, I think I heard Brother Commander Bishop say, and Commander Hot Sauce, you can talk about this too, that these are people with families, people who come from all different backgrounds. How did you guys muster up the courage that you did, knowing that you could face some difficulties? That's the best way to put it. How did you do that?
Brother, you have to have. I think I'm gonna put it this way. I'm a business owner. I got 3 kids. My biggest obstacle was probably my wife. Well, let me rephrase that. I thought my biggest obstacle was my wife, but my wife said to me, she said, "You are a warrior. That's what you do." She said, "You've always been that. I've been married 20 plus years." She said, "You've always been that. That's what you do. So go what you do for our people." Was she happy about it? Probably not. Did she not like it at first? No, but she understood why I had to do it. So I think the support that I got from home helped with the decision. Because when I didn't go to the first march in Stone Mountain. I saw that I saw that, and when I saw that, I said, "That's what we need to be doing." And I saw it out, Jay. And then I went to that next march in Louisville, Kentucky. And I went, and the wife didn't know I was going. I just hopped in the car and drove. And I went. So I think it's you definitely need the support of your immediate family, you know, because it's not something like Falcon said. We don't get paid to do this. We do this all on our own dime. We do this with helping each other out when it comes to funding and different stuff like that. But we do this all on our own. So you definitely need that local support from your family unit when it comes to doing things like this. But as far as it, I was like, this needs to be done, and there was no question in my mind that what I had to do was go do this.
Yes, and let me just jump on these two. And I remember because I was in a Stormont. And when we left Stormont, and I know the following week, Supreme had to do the facts of the field, and that was a lot of conflict in between families, and a lot of split, boyfriends, girlfriends.
Yeah.
And I remember and I witnessed because I was there. Matter of fact, I know some of the members that they had a conflict. Girlfriends, the girlfriend want to go one side. The boyfriend said, "Well, you cannot support this." And the majority of the men that was waiting, some of the family members, some of the guys when they came home, they was not, they had to deal with a lot of stuff. But my experience with me, my family was well prepared, my kids, my sisters, wives, whatever, that we all was prepared because somebody had to do. So you talk about something to protect our people and the energy we put together. There was no way that I would not want to be part of that good cake. There is no way, brother. Somebody had to do. And if we don't pull to each other, because I know the mind, the energy for some of us, I'm talking about male and female, the energy was there. The only thing we had to do is hold the hands together and pull to each other. The ones that don't want to support the chain, we left them behind. We said we will deal with you later when we get home. But we got
I appreciate that, brother. I know my wife. We had to have some talks.
that's
We had
right.
to have,
You got
yeah,
to, yeah, that's right. You know.
yeah. Now,
It,
please continue.
yes, it's not gonna be the end. We just wanna be prepared. Because the way things look like over here in the US, I know I spent a few years, 10 years in Germany. The type of, when we talk about enemy or white supremacy, the way they operate over there is totally different the way they operate over here in the US. Because
Hmm.
US is is very powerful because it's one of the number one country, very powerful. Everybody concentrate in his country. And if the government or whatever, these people they become racist, automatically they're gonna be the number one racist people in the entire world.
Wow.
And that's why we had to be prepared ourselves to watch what they doing to us. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
Because if
Yeah.
we let them walk the way they want to walk, they're gonna get away. Because remember, the country just the name United States of America is powerful. And now with
Mhm.
these nutcats on power and their ideology becoming racist against us, guess what? They powerful too. That's
Mm.
why the KKK was, you know, undefeatable. We was not able to defeat these people because they're in the number one plate. They're on the top. And that's why we had to come together. We had to organize. We had to do whatever we want to do, whatever we can do to become as a one unit and to make it stop this nonsense they do against us. And that's called unify.
Right.
You know, for me, I learned about Grandmaster Jay from one of my older brothers. I have a very large family, a dozen siblings, and my father had those siblings from 1943 to 1976. So I would always say from Guadalcanal to the fall of Saigon, he was having children, and and and
I
he
love that
yeah
He was Papa was rocking.
yeah
brother.
yeah
Yeah.
yeah yeah. And so I have a lot of a very very large family, and one of my older brothers is a longtime member of the Nation of Islam. Um, for well over 40 years before I was born. And he sent me 2 YouTube videos on June 29th, 2020. One was a Criterion by the post that it was coming on July 4th by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and the other one was Happy Anniversary by Grandmaster Jay. And when I saw Grandmaster Jay, I looked at it. He looked so familiar to me. Then I realized where I had seen him before, but he was a different guy back then. I had seen him in Charleston on the Ravenel Bridge doing the Bridge to Peace walk for the Manual 9 killings that had happened in Charleston. But for me, I was going through, at that point, it was 4 years in the business of just having dealing with the worst kind of racism. But I didn't know. I mean, I knew why, but I didn't know why. Grandmaster Jay told us why, because it's who we are, not who we are in who we are in the book and where we are in the story in the book. And it was no doubt that I had to be there, because I was always into the Second Amendment as a tool. I was a illegal gun owner. I had served a bit of military time, but it was no doubt that I had to go. And if I had to say there was one thing, if I, without any of those things going on, but when Congressman Clay Higgins, put that post up threatening the lives of American citizens who look just like me and like these brothers here, and said, how fast would he say? 3,000
He said he said he'll put us down because his bullets travel like 3,000 feet per second or some crap like that.
Yeah. So and then
he suffered no ramifications for it.
And then when Grandmaster Jay got him, and he called him to apologize, and he said, "Well, I'll meet you in Lafayette because we're going to be there." I said, "I gotta see that." There's certain things that you have to see with your own eyes. The Million Man March in 1995 was one, and then Formations was the other.
Yep.
You kind of just got to see it.
Yes.
TV doesn't do it justice. So and when you're there and you in Lafayette, anybody who knows that Lafayette knows some things that happened. We didn't do it. Somebody tried to do it to us.
Yeah.
And that's when you find out, when you're in a situation like that, whatever the situation is, are you a mouse or are you a man?
Yeah.
So
brother,
yeah.
It was just those formations are just, they're powerful in a way, because when you not only see the reaction of the people that are in that city, but then you also see the reaction of the law enforcement in that city too.
Right.
The reaction of the law enforcement is weird, because you had law enforcement that looked like you, and you could see their brains working like, am I on the right side of this blue line? And that was one of the most powerful things that you could see, when you see a black police officer and his brain is just running, and he's like, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. Now, some of those black police officers that looked like us, they was fully indoctrinated and they was doing the most, like the ones down in Atlanta. But we're not going to talk about them. The ones down in Atlanta, when we went down there for an event down there. But yeah, that's very powerful stuff that we saw at some of those formations right there.
Well, that's something that is a point, I think, too. It speaks to the historic nature of what you guys did. See, when you look at a government, you look at a China or Russia, Iran, you name it, Korea, all of these places, and the United States. They roll out their military. Not that they are planning to use it, but they're showing the other forces, the other institutions with power, that
Mhm.
we have the potential power necessary to protect ourselves.
Yep.
It's called gunboat diplomacy.
Yeah. Gunboat diplomacy. Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why, for me, to see you guys do what you did, I think, to go back to your point, Commander Bishop, is we're doing a disservice if we, as the people who produce different outlets, platforms on media, we're not talking about that. We're not explaining to our people the importance of that and the historic impact that's going to have on the United States. Of course, those police understand and they have a different respect. I think you guys mentioned when you went to see Brother Jay, the people in the institution had a certain respect when y'all came in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that diplomacy, if you will, that's the whole point of the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
As
It is.
flawed as the founding of the United States was and what they did, that Constitution, that document, if you really read it and read the whole thing and how to use it, it's the only thing like it in the whole entire planet.
Because it restricts government. It doesn't restrict the people. It restricts the government.
And people forget that these people work for us, not the other way around. And they had never seen melanated people use it the way they do it. That's what scared them.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's a different respect, and going forward there will be. Now I just want to kind of follow up on something that Commander Hot Sauce he mentioned. He talked about together, and I hear you brothers refer to each other and to other people as family.
Mhm.
Why do you guys? I hear that as a consistent term used to refer to each other. Why do you call each other family?
Because we are.
We are family. That's right.
We're one black nation. We're all family. We're all birthed from the black mother. We're all family.
Yes.
And quite honestly, families don't have nothing to do with your blood.
Right.
You know, I got people in my family that I haven't spoken to in 3 and 4 years, but I know if I got in trouble, I could pick up the phone and call any one of these brothers, any one of these sisters, and if I need something, they'll get. We've had people who got into situations and they needed money for whatever. We got together, put some money together, gave them some money so that they could get out of whatever situation they was in, whatever financial hardship they was dealing with. That's family. Family does that.
Yes. And also on my hands, I have, I will say, it's a Pan Africa also
Mm-hmm.
represented. We don't see, it doesn't matter where you was born, if you're born in Jamaica or Trinidad or New York or whatever. No, we one family. And look, everybody is African. This is our land. That's why. That's why. I will put my life for my brothers and my sister on the line. And that's what we do to protect our brothers and sisters and
Yeah.
our princes and princesses.
Your family until you deem that you're not in the family anymore.
That's right. You had to run away from us.
Yeah. So like my man Coat Figure says, when you want to become one of the blackface KKK members, then you're no longer family. Then we treat you like we treat everybody else then.
Yes.
But as long as you stay on the correct side, then you family. And we want to treat you like family. And that's something that our community definitely needs to learn from other communities. Because when you look at other communities, whether it be those who practice the Jewish faith or the Mexicans or the Asians or whoever, when they treat each other like family, despite their disputes or differences in opinion, when it comes to getting stuff for their community, they work as a family. They work as one unit. And our black community, we need to do more of that. Because we're too busy infighting and stabbing each other in the back.
Okay. And
we're not doing nothing like that. Go ahead.
Let me just give you a good example. I think that was last year. I was going to the Planet Fitness and I had a young brother in front of me. For some reason, altercating, and he had his girlfriend. I know he had something in the car. I was loading you. I always got my stuff with me. So he want to come outside the car to fight me. I told him, brother, I don't fight my brothers. And he was like, "Oh, ha ha ha!" He and his girlfriend. I said, "Get in the car, brother. I cannot fight here." I said, "I will never fight my brothers." And he looked at me like, "Oh man." I said, "No, brother. What are you doing? Get in the car."
We want to go for a ride.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. You know, that reminds me of something that I wanted you guys maybe could speak on. Because Brother Jay,
Mhm,
you know, he was able to get people to follow him from
mhm.
all over the world.
Yes.
Hmm.
Even like Brother Bishop mentioned when he was on the bridge, and I saw the video where he, you know, was kind of people of all different races and nationalities, but he was able to get people to follow him all over the world. Why do you think he was able to do that when it's not easy to get people to even follow a cause? You know, even if it's a good cause, it's definitely not easy to get people to do it. But he was able to do that. What do you think it is about him that that made people from all over the world follow? I saw videos of people in London, Europe. We got
Yes.
people in Africa. What do you
We have a
think it is?
chapter there. We got a chapter in the UK. Yes.
Yeah, I think the message. Let me just say this: the message he was laying down
Was truth.
is truth, and
Yes.
also that was to benefit and unify everybody. Because I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you this: a lot of these countries, especially in the continent, a lot of people they just waiting from somebody, especially from United States, to start
Stand
sending
up.
the message. Hey, we here for you guys. We got
Hmm.
your back. Even like over here in the US, we don't have nobody to backing us up because when they kill us, we don't have no African politician jump and they say, "Hey, United States, why you killing
Hmm.
our children over there?" You know.
Hmm.
So we had to do our own homework and fight back. That's why it's so important that we build the foundation over here in the US so we can go around the globe and help our brothers and sisters.
Yep.
And the
No,
message he was sending to us, it was good message. He make
it,
everybody feeling good.
it was truth to power that he spoke. He
That's
he's
right.
he's he's he spoke the truth, and it resonated with a lot of people because, quite honestly, everything he was saying was stuff I was already thinking. And
Hmm.
I think a lot of people was like that. I was already thinking that.
Yeah,
And I think a lot of people were looking for somebody that had the plan. Okay,
that's right.
Yeah.
Supreme had the plan. Okay,
Hmm.
you had the plan. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with the plan. I'm cool with the objective of the plan. Let's move. And I think that's why he got a lot of people to move with him because they were already thinking the same way. When I saw that what happened on Mark Arbery, I was I was pissed. I was angry.
Me
I
too.
I had to go hit a heady bag because I was pissed. And
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And
absolutely.
I said something got to get done because remember Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd, and Breonna Taylor all happened like almost around the same time, like within a couple months of each other. All three of those happened in the same time, and it was just like, yo, this got to stop. How do we stop it? And Supreme had the plan, and I'm like, all right, let's go. You got the plan. I'm moving with it. Let's go. So
Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
Wow. Now that brings me up to an interesting thing because I don't want people to lose sight. Uh, you guys, I refer to you many times as heroes, and I mean that sincerely. I'll give you an example. We, from the time that we're little children, we're shown the Spider-Mans, the Batmans, the Supermans, and they all these people, they're doing these great things, but the whole goal is to protect the society from the evil and the good versus evil.
Hmm.
And you see in all of the with all of these characters, they're wearing a uniform.
Yeah.
They're wearing a uniform, and so for me, uh, when brother Dr. Johnson would tell everybody, put your black shirt, your black pants, and your black boot,
Yep.
he was sending a signal to the people that these are your heroes. These are the people that you're supposed to be wearing around. No, it's not a cape. We're not talking about what's that? The Black Panther.
Hmm.
That's movie. How do you guys feel knowing that how does it feel to be actually making history? Like you guys are individuals. Have you ever stepped back and really realized that you are actually the people making history? How does it feel?
I never looked at it like that. I
Right.
never thought I
Right.
haven't had the opportunity to step back and look at it, but I know that when I look at my kids understand what I'm doing, and then that means my kids will tell their kids, my kids will tell their friends, they'll and so on and so forth. So I guess yes, we're making history, but I've never ever looked at it. I looked at it as I need to do this for my people, for my kids. And I, I know many of us often say, I don't want to be 20 years from now where, my grandchildren will talk about, Grandpa, when the summer of 2020 happened, what was you doing? I want to say, well,
Exactly.
this is what I did, and show them the pictures, show them the evidence of what I did. I don't want to say, oh, I just stayed in the house because they told us we had to wear masks and we couldn't go out and do none of that stuff. So I just listened to what the government said. That's not going to be me. That's never going to be me. I'll never act like that. So when that time comes and my grandchildren's like, what did you do for the people? This is what I did for the people.
I think
Yeah.
we're we're not at the end of the we're clearly not at the end of the story. And
Absolutely
I
not.
always think about where these things that are getting ready to fall in this happen in this country, um, that we'll have to defend against because we're a defensive organization, as we stated earlier. It is going to be like what most people can't imagine. And I kind of think about the future and say, okay, we did this, but what's next? What's the next part of it? Are we getting ready for that? Are we going with getting the folks who are ready to go? And you know what's amazing? That there are still people who are black who don't know what Nfac is. They haven't heard of it. That's astonishing to me. And I'm not saying because I was like, that's like not knowing who the Black Panthers were. How do you not know that?
It's an excellent point, and I wanted to get to, because it's a good lead in. You said what we get back to the media, and we're right there. What
Mm-hmm.
you talked about, Brother Bishop, the the fact that they don't know, that's a vital part of being able to protect yourself. The United States has satellite systems, and all countries are trying to get satellites so that they can have mass communication, effective communication, both hardwire and also digital.
Mm-hmm.
Because if something jumped off, to mobilize and organize your people, you need to be able to communicate with them.
Yeah.
So our people are doing a disservice, and to you and all of you, I want you to speak to the media, to the platform, the people with the platforms, all these different people, and they're spending time talking about nonsense. They won't even take a small amount of that time to talk about Nfac, what it's doing, so that when the jump off happens, I think the song was, the revolution will not be televised, but we have
Nope.
an opportunity to televise it for our own people so that we can communicate to them and know what they need to do, where to go, how, where we can help each other. Talk to the media or speak on the fact that the media is not doing, these brothers and sisters who have these platforms are not doing what they should do to promote Nfac. Is it important?
Wow,
Well,
that's a good point.
yeah, the mainstream media is not going to do it. So we need our people, our media to do it, because you know, um, we've reached out to a lot of black people on YouTube, and haven't gotten responses from people and whatnot. So yeah, we need more of that, because the CNNs and the Foxes and all those, they're not going to do it. The CNN did one story on GMJ, and either they were told to stop reporting on GMJ, or somebody high up in their company just said, "Hey, we're not going to be talking about Black unity and stuff like that. We're not going to be doing that." So they stopped. They won't even accept my emails anymore. I think I'm blocked from them because I've emailed them so many times. So yeah, so so
Appreciate you, brother.
so I don't. So it's definitely incumbent upon us to put the story out, and more black people need to do it. More black podcasters, more black news organizations need to do. Allhiphop.com is the only one that really still does. But you got other media outlets that could easily do it. People that got massive followings that can easily do it, but they don't. They choose not to. Whether it's because of their brand deals or whatnot, I don't know. But they need to start reporting on it, because this is something that all black people should know. They should know about it. And the fact
Exactly.
that they're not getting the information, it's frustrating to me when I come across black people that don't know about it. It's for
Yeah.
even more frustration when I come across the black people that know about it and say, "Oh, those That's for people not in my class, in my financial class. Privileged adjacent people, like I like to call them. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
And especially you talk about this month, you talk about
Hmm.
Black History Month. Everybody
Exactly.
should be talking about Nfac. That's the
Yeah.
Black Army.
Yeah.
So we did a very successful. We accomplished a lot of things. I mean, everybody should be talking about this in the media.
Hmm.
We don't even to go like 100 years back or 200 years. It's right there, 2020, what we did.
Well,
exactly.
You see what I'm
well,
saying?
and there's another side of this too regarding the media. I see it from 2020 was just the beginning,
Yeah.
and the the fear that folks have, it's like a stench. It's like wash it off and keep moving. Why are you so fearful in 2024?
Yeah.
Why are you so fearful? And quite frankly, the story on what they've done with Grandmaster Jay is so well documented, and when people really find out some of the things that happened, were way too numerous to bring up right now.
Hmm.
Um, of the behavior of our government and how others looked the other way when law-abiding Americans stood up and said no more. I can tell you this: if we were some kind of criminal organization, you know all about us.
Yep.
That's right.
I mean,
Exactly.
it was, we have a kind of like a little joke I'll share with you. We talk, you know, where are you going to find most NFAC members? You're going to find them at work. You're
Hmm.
going to find them reading, studying. You're going to find them,
At the gym
God knows, at the gym
or at the range.
or at the range. That's where you're going to find, or with their family. Those
Yeah.
5 things. You're going to find them somewhere in those 5 things. Not
Mhm.
not running around and being ludicrous or causing trouble or anything like that. So but they don't want to show you, like when you go back to talk about the image on the children, they don't want to, when 2 of us together or 3 of us are together, people know who we are, and we don't have
Hmm.
to wear anything. It's just the way we
Right.
stand out. And that image of strong black men and women, that's something even our own media plays into.
Hmm.
And the things Grandmaster Jay did, particularly, a lot of people talk about reparations, but what they fail to understand is reparations can't be given to a color. It's
Nope.
got to be given to a nation, to
Nation.
people. You've got to
Right.
declare the nation. Even if the United States Congress wanted to do it,
They can't.
they can't. Even if they
Hmm.
wanted to do it, that's why, unless it happened, unless it was something that you say, this happened to me yesterday, like the
Hmm.
Japanese internment, yeah, maybe
Hmm.
then. But in terms of the systemic things we've suffered,
Right.
they can't give it to a color. They have to give it to a nation,
Hmm.
Hmm. Hmm.
because
Hmm.
and that's something that it still blows my mind. A lot of these people who talk about this don't understand. So I mean,
Hmm.
there's a lot of meat on the bone that these folks will talk about, and we accept any and all sincere and honest outreach to speak and have interviews. And there's a lot of people we speak with behind the scenes and in front of the camera too.
Hmm.
And there's a lot more of us who feel the way we do than people think.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. So the outlets, I remember Brother Jay, he would kind of give an outline of these different plans and go into detail about these things. And that stuff should have been picked up and talked about. But I think he was elevating the consciousness of the people. He was elevating the consciousness of the people. And that goes contrary to what the United States really wants to do with their educational system. They don't want a well-informed society, especially a well-informed Black African society where the people are talking about the things you're talking about, expressing them in those terms, and then demanding some action.
Right.
It's a good point. Yeah, it's a real good point that you bring up. I didn't know that. I'm so happy because what it sounds like is you can't ask for reparations against yourself. In other words, we're American citizens. If I understand you correctly, we're American citizens. So we can't say we want reparations for America. It's America. But if we were a nation within America, a nation of
Correct.
people in America, that nation now could say we were we had acts against us, whether it's genocide or whatever. Now we want reparations. Is that generally what you're saying?
Brother Thomas,
Well,
that was the next step, Brother Thomas, and that's what they feared. That was the next step. The demonstration of a black nation. That was the next step in our. That was going to be our next formation. One of our next formations.
he,
It was going to be a 1,000,000 gun march, and it was going to be a demonstration of black nation at the same time. Because what most people fail to realize is you have to demonstrate as a nation you have the strength to protect yourself. You have to demonstrate that to the United Nations before you can
Yeah.
declare yourself as a nation. So that was going to be the next step, and they did not
And
want to see that happen.
I would recommend Brother Thomas and the links. They're all still up on YouTube. Grant the Facts Over Feelings called The Way Out.
Yes.
That one,
Yeah.
that hour and a half where he spoke explained it succinctly and exactly, and why it had to be done the way it needed, because people forget the papers were filed.
Yeah.
Yep.
And again, when they came after Grandmaster Jay, they came after him in a way that would silence him. What they said he did had nothing to do with being irresponsible on the internet or committing a crime on the internet. But they cut him off from internet access. Why? Because they didn't want him talking about it.
Mm-hmm. He was a one-man media sensation, not in the sense of gossip and tantalize, not that. He was literally drawing people to his platform,
Right.
giving them information that would lead them to some action that would benefit the masses of people. Those are the things that I think we're supposed to be talking about our brother in that way, so that the people really understand who this man is and what he did for the people.
Right.
Yep.
Now, I know we talked a lot about, Grandmaster Jay, and maybe you guys could speak. A lot of people don't even know his situation, and I don't want to get too personal because it's his personal affairs. But can you talk to us about how's he doing? His health? Is he getting better? Let the people know that this brother is okay. Many of us love him and we're concerned about him.
I'll
Go ahead, Mr.
follow up on that. So we had given a briefing on a couple of shows. It showed up on K Money. She's got it there, as well as Alpha. But K Money's got the 6.5-minute version to watch where we briefed it. But I'll be very succinct. Everybody knows probably by now he had open heart surgery in December for a pre-existing condition that was discovered about 6-7 months before that. And that if he didn't get it, he had 24 months or less to live, and it could have happened at any time. What he had going on to have caused him to lose his life. He underwent the surgery. The surgery was successful. It was a very invasive surgery. Anybody who knows anything about open heart surgery would understands that. He is recovering. He is well. He sounds stronger every day. But he's having to learn, when you have a surgery like that, you're going to learn how to eat again. You're going to learn how to walk again. I can tell you that there's nothing wrong with his fingers and typing, and there's nothing wrong. He certainly has been able to hit us up, and he certainly regained his power of speech. That's for sure. But,
Nice.
But he, when he came out, he sounded like he came out of something like that. but he is very well. Oh, I've seen a lot of people worried that like about his health. Well, his health has been restored because of this. But the thing was the United States government had to take care of this because it was like, you break it, you buy it. And that's essentially what happened for them having to take care of this.
Mhm.
And what is going on now is he is in the infirmary of Ashland Prison, and he he is, if anybody is a candidate for compassionate release, not only the way the law was already written, but the way that regulations were amended in November of 23, he is, because
Yeah.
they can't care for him in that facility the way he needs to be cared for. And quite frankly, he didn't get a life sentence. He got 7 years.
Hmm.
He didn't get a life sentence.
All
Let
right.
him, granted, he shouldn't be in there. We all know that. That's without being said. And quite frankly, we all need to be, uh, lobbying for a pardon. But let's get him out of there. Let's get him
The
out of there so he can recuperate with his loved ones and in the comfort of his own living space. Not in some, not in you. I don't know if you all have seen this past week.
Keep speaking on that.
A report came out this past week. A report came out, 111-page report about the Bureau of Prisons' abysmal medical facilities,
yeah,
abysmal, where the Department of Justice got all over them.
yeah.
You know, he doesn't need to be in there dealing with that no more than anybody else does. So our focus right now is to secure that compassion release and get him out of that situation so that he can recover.
The letter writing campaign.
With the letter writing campaign that you
Yeah.
see, the Bring Him Home campaign, and has has out on justiceforgmj dot
.com.
Right.
.com.
Yeah.
K Money and yourself have illustrated some beautiful templates,
Mhm.
and again, this fear of people writing letters supporting them like it's getting you on a list or something. I've heard that. Hey, bro, you already on a list.
I've been on the list.
I think we're all on the list, especially after this call. But
If you're a gun owner, you're on the list. Trust me on that. If you own a firearm, you're on a list. Trust me.
Oh yeah.
and if you stand up for anything that's people forget that Black unity is a national security threat for the United States of America.
Absolutely.
That was stated.
Yeah.
So does that mean you're not going to unify? The slaves being free were a national security threat for the United States of America. Doesn't mean they didn't get free. But that's we've got to come together. If there was any time you were going to reach out to your congressman or senator, who I can assure you know about this issue, go up to them and say, "Hey, do you know who Dr. John Fitzgerald Johnson is?" When they look at your face with a blank look, say, "Grandmaster Jay, the Black militia guy." Say that.
Yeah.
See what they say. They know exactly who he is.
And that's the hard part. That's the hard thing, because I know Bishop has had run in with politicians, so have I, where you say, "Hey, I would like to speak with you about Dr. John Fitzgerald Johnson," and they turn around and look at you like, why do you know that name? Or it's like, what would you say, Bishop? You said it was like he was the boogeyman or something. Like he was Candyman. Like he was Candyman. Yeah.
Like you're not supposed to say his name or something. Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing the looks you get. And it's because they've been trying to keep this whole thing secret, and it's not a secret. It's not a secret at all. We're all talking about it.
Yeah.
But that's where he stands right now. He is very strong. I certainly, as well as the other brothers here, have the sense that he's like the bionic man. He's gonna be new and improved. And what all he like he joked, he's got the a sense of humor, immaculate sense of humor. I'm getting all the upgrades.
Mhm.
That's what he told us when he,
Yeah.
when we found out about this on the last visit, because I'm getting all the upgrades and they're paying for it.
Yeah.
No, I'm really happy to hear that. And now I just want to kind of dig in a little bit. The letter writing campaign, like I worked for the government when I was in America, and I would talk to people, particularly when I started hearing about Grandmaster Jay and Nfac, and I was surprised at how people I know they were afraid. I'm talking about men. The sisters seem to have more courage than the brothers, in the sense that the sisters would talk about it. They would openly talk about it. They didn't care. But the brothers wanted to keep it on the hush hush. And so I'm concerned that the letter writing campaign, if there are brothers out there who are worried that if they write the letter, is somebody going to be tracking me and I'm writing a letter and I'm going to lose my job? Can you guys speak to that? Should people not worry about that and get these letters out? Speak to that for a second.
Well, I've never been tracked. I don't wrote Supreme so many letters. Being dumb, I ought to be in prison by now. Letters I wrote, and I've done my compassionate release. I've done everything else about him. Send it to the judge, a letter to the judge. So believe me, you ain't going to jail. You ain't gonna get in trouble. They're not gonna mess with your family. You just doing it. But what they say, real people, they got excuses. Real people is not gonna do it. Some people not, and some people are. The one with excuses, they say stay on the porch.
Yeah, you can write your letter. You can write your letter. That's freedom of speech. That's covered by the Constitution. You can write your letter as long as you're not threatening nobody or threatening any harm or damage to anybody or anything. You can write a letter asking for compassionate release.
Right.
So that's freedom of speech. So write, as somebody just put in the chat, write the damn letter.
Right.
If you want to take a word from Mike, just do it.
Yeah, just write the damn letters. Brothers, write your letters. I know you don't want to feel soft or whatever. Write your damn letters.
Yeah.
All right. Because and write Jay. Write Jay directly. You know, if you go to justiceforgmj.com, you'll see his address in there where you can write him directly. Okay, and he'll write you back. He wants to hear from the brothers. He hears from the sisters all the time. He wants to hear from the brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I have a question about that. This on a personal level. I just found out. I learned from my good sister K Money that we can actually do the compassionate release letter electronically, and that's a very good thing. So everybody, you can send it electronically. The letter, I thought I looked up and saw that for the institution, federal penitentiary, that you can't send it through email, or can you? Can you do that?
You send your compassionate release letters to info@justiceforgmj.com, and then they'll be given to the appropriate people. But that's where all the letters are being collected. I do believe that's where it is.
That's correct.
Okay, that's correct. Okay, yeah. So send your letters to info@justiceforgmj.com, and then your letters will be disseminated out to the proper people. That way, you don't have to worry about, well, who do I send this to? Just send it there, and they'll get it.
Yeah, because it goes. It's a legal proceeding. It goes before a judge, and like Sister K Money said, address it to who it may concern, or the judge, or to dear judge.
Yeah,
that'll cover you. But this is a petition. It's your legal team legally submits it, or you submit it pro se, to the appropriate authority, and they address it. And the warden can also do it too.
Yeah.
But he's going to send it to the judge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, as far as directly sending, go ahead. I'm listening.
Sister K Money just put that information in the chat. It said send your get well cards, letters, postcards, and pictures, and they put his address right there. She just put it in the chat, so you can definitely do that.
Good. Okay. All right. Yeah, you guys. I really want to make sure that before we, before I know you've been very generous with your time, and I appreciate that. I just wanted to make sure: is there anything that we didn't cover that you guys think that would be good for the people to know about our good brother Grandmaster Jay and what he's done for the people, as well as you guys in Nfac?
One thing, one thing I want everybody to know that quit listening to some of this bullshit that's out here talking with the AI saying lies and saying all these negative things about Supreme Commander about Impact. That nobody wants to see when you're doing something good. There's always the devil always busy wants to get in your business. So if you want to know the truth about what's happening with Supreme, Gay Money knows it. Jazz,
Mhm.
Mikey Jazz. Sorry, Mikey Jazz.
Yep,
Um,
yep.
and also info at gmj.com. And you too, Brother Thomas. We want to bring you on board. I hope we can rely on your information.
It would be an honor and a privilege. Anything I can do, as I mentioned in my email, I serve at your pleasure. And that goes for each and every one of you.
Mhm.
I'm in fact for life until death. And
That's
even
right.
then, I'm going to rise up. Like my brother he said, I'm going to rise up from there. Oh, brother, I'm here.
Oh, that's
And
right.
don't forget about our brother Cult Figure too. He's also
Yeah,
down with
go.
it too.
Yeah,
Cult
for the
Figure.
go
Yeah,
figure.
you go
That's
for
right.
Cult Figure.
Yeah,
Yeah, we just got to make sure we as a nation are prepared. We've mentioned unity a lot, but this country is about to go through something. I don't know if y'all could feel it, but this country is about to go through something big. So we all must be prepared for whatever that is. Um, our brother Indigo Wolverine just posted something, and it says, "One cannot stop war; one can only prepare for it."
that's right.
So you and and that, like I've mentioned before, I follow Indigo Wolverine. I salute that brother. He's always on point with things that he's got to say. But yeah, he said one cannot stop war, one can only prepare for it, and that's the God's honest truth. And like I said, there's something coming here. I don't want it to come, but
That's right.
it might not be up to me whether or not it does come. So we just need to prepare and be ready for it. And we're going to need to be unified when that happens,
Right.
because who you think they're gonna come after?
Yeah.
They're gonna try to eliminate who they think the threat is, and they already think we're a threat in this country.
Yeah.
You know
So
what?
go ahead.
No, I want to follow up on something Brother Falcon said. Uh, the fact that these people are putting out this negative press or misleading press, the AI, all of
Hmm.
that kind of propaganda
Uh-huh.
is an indication of how effective and how successful Brother Grandmaster Jay and you brothers in fact have been. So
Absolutely.
now there must be a dedicated effort by the empire to
Hmm.
deal with the growth of Nfac and to prevent the growth. They will not be able to stop it. They have their own external problems and their own internal problems. And the will of the black people all over the world who have been fighting this fight for thousands of years, that will never ever go away. It will never go away. You guys are living proof of it. I just wanted to mention that because I think for me, I'm trying to, when I see that, I try to deal with it. I don't want to do something in such a way that it's not showing unity. But I think Lieutenant Corporal Kickass said something earlier. Sometimes you got to deal with your people who may be creating some internal problems also.
Yeah.
But I try to do that diplomatically, but we have to put out good things about you brothers and what you're doing. We have to do that.
Well,
Yeah.
Supreme always says everybody's not meant to go. There's a reason the number is 144,000 in the book. The book says 144,000, and that's it. There's a reason why that's the number, because everybody's not meant to go. So some people, some of our own people, we gonna have to leave by the wayside.
Yeah, because of when you talk about this, all these situations happen over here, and you take a look, some of the brothers, they, when you mention all this stuff, the fear they have is like, oh man, are you guys gonna be able to protect your people, our people? How y'all gonna do that? But if you look around the globe, United States, we have the best law as far as the firearms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you there is no other country that have all these law under the Constitution of the United States. That you can be able to have what the law enforcement have.
And
So
that's why they're trying to take it from you now. That's
that's
exactly
right.
why they're trying to take it from you right now.
That's right. And they trying to do anything
Mm-hmm.
to take their rights away from us.
Yeah.
And if we
There's
don't have their rights away, guess what? The kill will increase 10 to 50 to 100 to 300. Think
That's a
about
great
this.
point.
Yeah,
Eh, 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 eh,
there's no reason why this government would be trying to violate your constitutional right
that's right.
to protect yourself
To protect
and
yourself
protect your family unless they plan on doing something.
and do something.
There's no reason whatsoever that I can think of that the government says, "Oh, now you can't have firearms." Well, you still have firearms, so what are you planning on doing that now
On
we
doing.
can't have firearms?
Ooh, very dangerous situation.
Why we not asking that question? Why is there so many people in our communities like, yeah, we shouldn't have firearms? Are you
Yeah.
stupid?
Yes. And
There's a
they
reason
actually
why we
got a
have it.
people. They go around brainwash people.
Hmm.
Well, and I remember when we went to Stone Mountain, I had this Muzungu asking us, why firearms? I looking at him, I said, what do you mean why firearms?
Why not?
The 3% every time they go out, they bring firearms. Did you ask
Exactly.
them the same question?
Yeah.
And we had to realize we like 54 million people in this country.
Yeah.
And we don't need everybody. We just need 2 million, brothers and sisters. That's all.
Ooh.
Yeah, ask for everybody.
You
If
know
you can get
something?
everybody, that
I
would be
remember
great.
Brother Jay said that.
Yeah.
He
That's
Yeah.
said
right.
some very
We don't need
small
everybody.
We
numbers.
don't need everybody, but if we can get everybody, that would be great.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
You know,
and it's the same thing that the discipline. You talk about 54 million. If everybody put $1 to donate, we got the money.
Exactly.
We
yeah.
got the money to fund the army to support GMJ. I mean,
Hmm.
we got the money. Every time we deploy our troops, it costs a lot of money. Trust
Yep.
me.
Yep.
Hey, listen, I just want to jump in real quick before we like wrap up, and we don't have to wrap up, but I want to get this in while you guys are here in front of the people and anybody listening. Okay, listen, everybody. You see these brave men standing before you, talking before you. These are heroes. These are people who have made a commitment and dedicated themselves to the protection, to the benefit, and the prosperity of people that look like you and me, our children, our children's children, and our posterity. So I want to make sure you understand this is also all under the umbrella of the Supreme Leader Grandmaster Jay. So I want you to look, make sure you read the website. You can go here to get updates on Brother GMJ. You want to go to and visit website www.justiceforgmj.com. That's for updates on Brother GMJ. You want to visit www.justiceforgmj.com. Now, you can support this brother, and he needs our support. So we want to do that. We want to make sure we let you know you can donate. You can donate to our brother to help him in this time. He's helped us, and it's a good thing for us to show our love and support for this brother. Can you guys? I think can you put that the donation? Okay, yeah, you want to donate to Grandmaster Jay's Legal Defense Fund. You want to go to the GoFundMe. I think it's GoFundMe 72096649. That's
Yeah.
GoFundMe.
Yeah. K Money put it in the chat there, I think.
Yeah, you can see
Yeah.
it there. So
Yeah.
look for the information. You can probably get it on the website too. So
Absolutely.
remember, these brothers and sisters that they come before you, the heroes and the leaders, they come from the people. This is not television. This is not a movie. These are wonderful people who love the people, and this is
Brother,
why they do what they do.
Brother Thomas, it's not a movie yet.
Hey, I'm
Hold
gonna
up, hold
direct
up.
it, act in it, be a
If
part of it.
you don't think Supreme got a plan or write a book, and try to get it made into a movie. You crazy? Because he probably got that plan. I
And
think he probably got that plan.
I think so, and it's a good plan. I want to be a part of it. All right, everybody. You
Well,
guys
we'll
got
find
anything
one out.
else? We
Hello.
good?
I have
Yeah.
one more. I have one more thing. You know, there's two C's you could be. Are you going to be complicit,
I'm
or are
gonna
you going
drop
to
out
be
and come back. My
courageous?
sound went out.
Say that. Could you say that again, Brother Bishop?
There are two C's that you could be. Are you going to be complicit in what's going on right now, or are you going to be courageous? It's always a small percentage of the people who stand up. It's always been that way, and it always
Hmm.
will, because that's just human nature. So 2 million people is right at almost 5%.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe it won't start off that way, but but look, if this isn't your thing, if this isn't what you do for whatever reason, do something to help.
That's
Be
right.
courageous. Do something. Uh, 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 you go back and watch Supreme's lessons on the 55,000 man army and how it's funded.
Hmm.
55,000 people. That a military is for lots of different things.
Yeah.
Rapid response, humanitarian missions, natural disaster, things like that. But y'all just remember where we are in history and just think about, well, what did you do?
Hmm.
And that's a huge range of things that you could be doing.
And remember, we need more than just boots on the ground soldiers too. We
Mhm.
need people who are versed in medical, legal. We need all that stuff. We need administrative people. We need all kinds of help in this movement. It's not just the people who can stand on business with a firearm, stand in their front line. We need everybody else. Those support roles, those logistical roles, those are important roles. You ask anybody in the military, they'll tell you logistics is the key to how a military moves.
That's right.
So we need all those people as well. If you go back and look at the Louisville formation we did, yeah, there was a lot of people with guns out there. There was a lot more people out there handing out water, doing medical, and stuff like that. We need those people too. So come on and join us. Get off the
That's,
sideline. It's time. Let's go.
I love it. And
Mhm.
so speaking of that, I saw the video. I love it that it's coming out. Join NFAC. So
Which video are you talking about?
there's one that comes out. I saw, and I love this video. There's a brother. He's standing up, and he's standing there. He's holding a post. He's got a weapon. The camera
That's
is
me.
painted.
That's
That's
me.
you.
That's me.
I love that
Yeah, that's
video.
that's yeah, that's my video. I didn't know if everybody saw it because if you're not a friend of mine, you can't see it on my page. But I know it went out to a certain number of people. But yeah, that's me. So yeah, that
Fantastic.
was one. That was something that I was thinking about, and it was funny because Bishop called me. And he was like, "I was just thinking about something like this. This is something. This is what we need right now." He's like, "This is exactly what I was thinking about." So I was like, "Yeah."
Oh man, hey,
Because a lot
listen,
of times you
that
don't
one
have you
touched
don't have to
me.
say nothing to make a point.
Exactly. The point was well made. So listen. So if brothers and sisters they want to join, where do they go? How do they do it?
Join NFAC at proton.me. You can go there. Let us know that you want to join. Someone will contact you, and we'll get with you, and hopefully we can get you into a chapter somewhere very close to you.
Okay. All right. Now, can you guys talk to me? Tell me UBKN. Originally,
Yes.
when we first started seeing Nfac pop up, and then we started seeing UBKN. Can you explain to the people UBKN what it is, what it means?
Bishop, or you want me to go?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Bishop, you're muted.
Yeah, I'll explain. So the UBKN is United Black Kemet Nation, and that is the representation of um, the nation within the nation is the UBKN. The Nfac is the military arm of that nation, basically.
That's very good, Brother Bishop. It ties it all in. So it is back to what you talked about before, where if you're going to talk about reparations, you have to actually be a nation going forth to the United Nations or wherever you
Correct.
go, legal body. So that is the embodiment of the nation.
Yes.
Correct.
Oh, this is beautiful. So people, you're hearing, and I think one of our brothers said it, it's just not about guns.
No.
Don't be confused. The guns are necessary.
That's right.
Don't be confused. All of the nations of the world, they have to protect themselves, protect their economy, protect their people. And that is not, as our good brother said, it's not an offensive measure, but it's a defensive measure. And as I mentioned before, if you just kind of pay attention, you live in America or Europe or wherever you are, everything that they talk about with their military is, they call it defense.
Mm-hmm.
Defense. We as a people, as men in our right mind, are entitled
To self-defense.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I couldn't have said it any better.
It's a natural right that you have as a human, is you're entitled to be able to defend yourself. And if someone is attacking me with said weapon, I want to be able to meet or exceed whatever they have. And in my case, I'm going to be exceeding whatever you bring to my door. Trust me.
That's what I'm talking about. And that's the kind of consciousness that our young boys, particularly our young boys and our girls as well, but our young boys need to know and understand that this is a normal and natural part of human behavior. In fact, all animals, when pressed, pushed up against a corner, those animals are a natural self-defense mechanism, and that should not be removed from the human nature of a black man. So
correct.
Right, everybody. All right. Anything else?
No, sir. That's all I got, brother.
I think that, yes.
No, sir. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yes.
Absolutely, sir.
Yeah, we thank you. But I want to just say something before, I know don't have nothing to do with this subject.
Take your time, brother. Take your time.
Do you guys remember and I'm very familiar with the Blackwater?
Blackwater, yeah. I think
Do you
that's
know
changed.
the CEO of Blackwater? I think he did
Yes.
an interview a few weeks ago, and he talked about moving to Africa and trying to remove all the politicians and taking over the continent.
Yeah.
Did you guys saw that?
Yeah, I saw that.
No, I thought that was the brother saying recolonize.
Yeah.
Right.
Basically, they want to recolonize Africa and remove all the leaders that are in it, because he says Africans are not able to take care of themselves and govern themselves. So he wants to remove everybody and basically recolonize Africa. That's a plan. And Blackwater, while they're not United States government, they are United States government.
Yeah, come on, thank you.
Blackwater has done, for those who don't know, Blackwater is basically a PMC, a private military company, and they do a lot of things off the books.
Yes, it's just like the Russian. What's that group? The Wagner.
The Wagner. Yeah. They're basically the same thing. As they do a lot of off the book stuff, a lot of black budget stuff that the government can't say that yes, we did this, but it got done.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you think about that, and you think about what Grandmaster Jay always said, was a lot of folks in Africa were looking at and inspired by what we did over here, because we had the resources and the equipment to do so. So if they're going to colonize Africa again, what do you think they're going to do to our black selves over here? Because they would have to deal with us, but as they dealt with that, they couldn't do that in a vacuum.
Right.
That should be all people need to know. You can easily find his that little spiel. He said it right out in the open, what he was doing, and maybe you could do a show on that or something, and talk about that. But
most Americans don't even know that we're in Africa like that, though. Most Americans have no idea that we're even in Africa like that. I mean, even Nikki Haley's husband is in the Horn of Africa right now. Why? What's in the Horn of Africa? What are they doing there?
And this is why one of the things the Supreme Commander Grandmaster Jay, he was trying to put a chapters every corner in the continent to
Mm-hmm.
protect our people.
All
Yep.
right.
If we had to go over there and we talk about we the one need to go over there and re-educate and talk about it and help build things. Now the Muzungus, they watching us. They watch what Supreme was talking about.
Yeah.
And this is why they want to make their move too. For this group, the Blackwater, trying to make their move.
Mm-hmm.
Supreme talked about this before. That we need to go over there, deal with this corrupt, sit down with this corrupt presidents and put them out. And
Yeah.
we need to help our people. Supreme talk
Black
about this.
Blackwater's initiative will basically be to secure all resources because right
Yes.
now China and Russia are trying to gobble up all the resources in
Yeah.
Africa right now. So the
Yeah.
United States would send Blackwater in to secure all the resources
All this,
that
yeah.
they need,
They need.
and that's the issue right now.
Yes. That's
Mhm.
the
And they send
strategy.
Blackwater for plausible deniability if
Yeah,
anything goes wrong
exactly.
with people.
Exactly.
Yes,
They've been
yes.
doing it. They've been doing it for years. I mean, even when I was in Somalia and we were there tasked to protect assets, not people.
Mm-hmm.
So we watch villages get burned, people die. We watched the genocide happen because we were too busy protecting resources instead of people. Now, if you're in the United States, why would you send your biggest dog to a fight and then not let him off the leash?
Ah.
Because you're not protecting the people, you're protecting the assets that are there. So this has been going on for a while. So don't get it twisted. The United States is not our friend. They're not the friend of the people on the continent either.
Mm,
They would
Yes.
rather see us gone.
yeah.
This is the vital information that is supposed to be presented to our people on platforms like this and others and everywhere possible to spread this information so that we educate our people properly and not have their consciousness falsified and directed in meaningless, nothingless activities so that when the time is necessary for us to organize, which is now,
That's right.
we won't have such a big problem gathering our people. So I thank you, brothers, for this. This is tremendous. And brother Grandmaster Jay, please, Dr. John Fitzgerald Johnson, and I want you guys to know also that this speaks to his character. While he was having these conditions that he was dealing with health-wise, he was still able to go in there and get his education and get, what kind of strong, courageous brother is that to be able to focus
Well,
like that?
Right.
And
do,
he's
do,
educating those on the other side of the wall too, which is something he's
Yes.
always wanted to
Yeah.
do, and he just didn't know how to. And this gave him an opportunity to reach those brothers that are on the other side of the wall. And he's been teaching. I don't know how many classes he teaches, but he was teaching a lot of classes inside the prison to the point where he's a protected person in that prison, and they don't
yeah,
want to see nothing happen to him. The Bureau of Prisons don't want to see nothing happen to him, not for fear of anything that might happen on the outside, but for fear of something that might happen on the inside, because he's that well protected
yeah,
inside.
and then going back to his doctor, I just wanted to make a quick clarification. He was actually, before he went in, he was a candidate for that. He
Mhm.
didn't. It's not something he had done in prison. He received it there, and when it came time to grant that doctorate through the work he had done in the humanities, they were trying to find him and they didn't know where he was.
Yeah,
Then they reached out and found him. It
yeah,
wasn't. I don't. It wasn't something that he. I don't think he undertook while he was in there. He was already being considered for it before he went in.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful,
So
beautiful. That's even more reason why he should get the compassionate release so that he
correct.
can continue. Yes, yes, so that he can continue the good work that he was doing. And it speaks to his character that he was doing that work before he went in there and he's still doing the work in there. That's a
right.
beautiful, beautiful,
Yes,
beautiful thing, man. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing. All right, brothers. I want to thank you personally for giving me the honor and the privilege to spend a few hours with you guys, a couple hours. Each and every one of you, I'm committed to you. You have my love and support, and I'm sure all of the people got a chance to now hear the honest, sincere straight from the people's mouth truth about the good deeds done by Nfac and Brother Grandmaster Jay. You guys don't have anything else?
Nope.
And
Just keep supporting Jay's GoFundMe. I know he put a reading list out a while ago with about 10 books on it. Get them books, read them books, because you know he gonna be teaching when he come out. So get them books and start reading them now. And that's about it. Just NFAC for life.
That's right.
NFAC for life, brothers.
Nfac for life. And thank you, brother, once again. Thanks.
And thanks to all of you, Brother Falcon. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for reaching out to these brothers. And thank you all. K Money, thank you. You're the best. Much love to you. Much love to you. Brother Eleanor Harvey. Sister Eleanor Harvey, thank you. I love you all. You guys have a great day. Uhuru.
Uhuru.
Guru.
All right. Hey, Brother Falcon, thank you, my brother.
All
Thank
right,
you.
brother. No problem at all. Whatever you need me, you know where to contact me.
I will, brother. I will. You guys have a great night. Be good now.
All right, you too. All right.